Alright, this is going to be a quick video. I've done a couple videos on Etch, and they both, or all, I don't know how many I've done, have shown me basically copying and pasting code into the HTML and CSS blocks. And that's a great way to build a website, in my opinion, and it's how I will probably build most websites. But right now I'm actually rebuilding a website, and I'm not trying to change the design of the website at all. And so I'm actually using this opportunity to actually use Etch, use the builder part of Etch rather than just copying and pasting code in for everything. And it's been quite the experience kind of relearning how to properly build a website. So I'm going to take this opportunity to show you basically how the builder works and a little bit about how components work too, since I decided to set up some components for this. So it's going to be a pretty quick video, but here's the page that I am rebuilding right now. So I'm just going to show you this once. I'm not going to keep going back and forth to it. And I don't think I'm going to build the whole page, but I do want to do at least half of it, because this is going to allow me to show you a good portion of how the builder works and also how components work, so that'll be nice. Those are two things that I haven't really talked about yet. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a component that I've already created. It's called hero section, and there it is. And you'll notice down here I have subheading and heading and hero image. These are three properties that I added to this component when I created it. So all I have to do is, there's my subheading, and yes, I know it's weird that my subheading is on top and the heading is below, but that's just kind of how it looks. I think you'll see what I mean. And then the image is, I want to say it's called hero something. It's called about hero. Yep, there it is. So that's it. I drop that in, just paste in the subheading, heading, and the image, and it's done. If I go look at it, you'll see the fonts are a little different. The fonts aren't coming through in the preview builder area, but they're coming through here, and these aren't even the right fonts. I need to purchase the fonts that I'm going to use. But this whole section is already done because I built this once. I styled it how I wanted it, and added the styles, the padding, the alignment, the fonts, everything like that one time, turned it into a component, and now I just drop it in and add the data and move on. So that's the first little taste of a component. You saw how quickly I was able to build this hero section. This is because every page on this website has the same exact hero section layout. The difference is just this text, that text, and the background image. So that's a perfect time to create a component, so I'm not rebuilding this every single page. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a section. I'm going to name this section FinPrep Team section, container, and then I created some classes, so I'm going to give this section a class of section, and I'm going to give this container a class of container. So I added those elements before and added some styling. It's just basically padding and whatnot. You can see it down here actually what I did to it. Just max width for the container, margin auto, some padding on mobile, and then on desktop the padding goes away. Just basic stuff. So looking over here, and I guess I will show you again just real quick. I have a subheading to add, a heading, two text blocks, another subheading, a heading, and we'll call it 3 text blocks. And so because I created a component for the subheadings and the headings, all I have to do is go like this: subheading, heading, text, text, subheading, heading, text, text, text. Okay. And this page is pretty easy because it's all vertical, so there's not even any, like, I don't have to do any flex. I don't have to do any media queries. It's all just nice and vertical. So we'll do the heading there, or subheading, and the heading. There's that first section. And this next one is a little bit different because they got a UL in there as well. So I think what I'm going to do is go old school and add some actual HTML. I think I can just go ahead and go like this. It does support Emmet, by the way, if you're familiar with using Emmet in like VS Code or whatever code editor you like. So that's pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to, how does this work? LI times 3? Yeah. All right. Here's the first one. Second one. And third one. Just like that. Boom. That's a whole section. Let's, oh, it doesn't like that okay. So here's what I have to, wait. Why is it saying that? I thought I've done this before. Only the top one will be used, but why? Huh. So if I save, multiple top level elements detected, only the first will be used. Yeah, well that's annoying. So I think what I have to do is come down here, click on sections so I see everything, and then I'll add my UL, and then it added it up here in my tree of things. Okay, so that's a section done. Let's save it and just see what it looks like. I mean, it's pretty much done. This is what the other page looks like. I might want to add a little more style, a little more margin to bump this section down a little bit. But otherwise, yeah, we're doing pretty good. And that's because I already set what my body font is and what the body font color is and all that stuff. So, and with the components, these are already styled and colored the way they're supposed to be. Easy peasy. So next section, we'll click the section button again. And I didn't mention this before, but you'll notice whenever you add a section, it adds a section, and it also automatically adds a container inside. You could delete the container if you want. It's up to you, but I like it. And I didn't give any of these elements any classes because I didn't really need to modify them. Usually I do need to do some modifying, like in this next section you'll see. So I'll show you a really fast, easy way to automatically add classes to your stuff here in a second. We're going to call this section FinPrep Philosophy section. And we'll give this class of section, and this container class equals container. Okay. And this time we have a layout. So not everything is just vertical. So we have an image on the left. I guess I'll show you real quick. Image on the left, some text on the right. Not super complicated. So inside my container, the container is, I believe they give this the display of flex by default. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and drop an image, clicking the image, and then a flex div right here. So that will give me this image, and then the flex div below. Inside the flex div, I'm going to add a component, my subheading. I'm going to add another component, my heading. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. This section does have a background image. Let me grab that real quick. This is why I like the fact that we have full control over the HTML and CSS and whatnot, because at the time of this video, there isn't an easy way to add a background image. I'm sure they'll add that at some point, but so before I do anything, you'll notice like this section already has a class on it, so I can edit the CSS of it, but some other stuff like this flex div doesn't have a class on it yet, so I can't edit the CSS. So what I like to do is I'll right click on the section after I've added everything, all the elements that I need, right click, and it just choose create BEM classes. BEM is it's just a CSS, like, I don't know, somebody came up with the system for adding classes that involves a lot of double underscores. But now all of these elements have a class, and so now you can see that I can go over here and edit the CSS for any of them. I'm going to edit the CSS for this section, but not all sections, only this section. So I'll click on this to select this selector. So only this section is going to experience what I'm about to type, which is background image URL. Is that. And just another, actually I think I already added the maybe I didn't. I thought I added all of the background stuff to this. Background position 50%, background size cover, background repeat, no repeat. Okay. I thought I had already done that part. Whatever. There we go. So now we have a background. This image is annoying me because it's so big and the picture's not that big. I'm just going to throw in a quick max width. Probably don't even need to do this. Just because that was annoying me. But, alright, so adding an image is simple. Just click on it and search. Which image are we looking for? I do believe it is this one. Yeah, that was a pretty small picture anyway, so I didn't really need to add that max width. And then over here we have a bunch of text. Oh, down here, sorry. It's not over here yet because I haven't added any CSS to make it 2 columns. Right now it's just 1 column. But I like to just get my content in there quick first, so we'll paste in this stuff. And then you're gonna, whoops. So the thing about this now is that our heading, we don't want it to be blue, we want it to be white, right? Because we got that dark background now. So it's like, well, how do we do that since it's a component? You know, we don't want to change the color for all of the instances of this component, just this one. That's what properties, are for. And I haven't added a property to this one yet. You may have noticed while I was clicking around that the subheading has a text color property that I've been ignoring, but the regular heading doesn't, and that's because I wanted to add it in this video. So first of all, to create a component, all you do is right click on any element and click create component, and now it's a component. So I already did that, of course, with the heading, and then you can right click on it and click edit. Right here I just have the one prop, and that's the text. I'm going to click this to add a new text prop, and I'm going to call it text color. Now the default value, I'm going to make this blue color because most of my headings are that blue color. So I'm just going to use my variable that I created. So that's the default. Anytime I drop this down, it's going to use that. And then you're like, okay, well, what do I do with this with this prop. How do we actually use it? Well, if we come up here to our heading, I can actually use this in the inline CSS. So what I'm going to do is say style equals, let's see, how does this work? Color, and then curly bracket props dot text color, curly bracket, and then semicolon, right? Save. So now my property is showing up down here, so I can add something to it. And I'm going to use my other variable, text white, and that worked. The text turned white. And we'll view it just so you know that I'm not lying and the builder preview's not lying. There's our white text. So everything else is the same, but we changed the color on this one. Okay, let's go back to the builder and make this look the way it's supposed to. We're going to have to also change the color of this text, which there's a couple different ways, of course, that we can do that. It's Etch, so there's probably at least 5 different ways that we could do that. Okay. So we could probably just jump on this flex div, and where it says typography color, use our text white color. That's probably the easiest way. We also could have jumped on this class right here, and we could have said color var text color. No, text white. Could have done that. Whatever. I'm doing it this way. Okay, so now we just need to fix the layout. That's pretty much the last thing we got to do. And so we're doing mobile first. So we're going to leave it like this as the default layout, because on mobile this is how we want it to look. Okay, did I not click save? There it is. This is how we want it to look on mobile, and so we just need to edit how it looks on desktop, which is pretty easy if you know how to use a media query. So I'm going to jump on, let's see, where is it? It's the container. And we want to jump on this specific class, and we'll just do this. At media screen and mid-width, I think I've been using 1200 pixels as my mobile breakpoint. We'll do ampersand, and we'll say flex direction row, and then we'll give it a gap of 40 pixels, I think. You know, it looks like they're doing more than that. Yeah, let's try that. And save. And refresh. Alright, so on desktop, we have this layout, and if we go down to mobile, we get this layout, and it breaks at about 1200 pixels. So that's it. We just built out, not the whole page, there's one more section. Let's do it. It doesn't take long. I mean, you're a grown-up, you can turn this video off if you're sick of it. Let's do one more final section. This one is called FinPrep method. Since we got our components set up, this is going to be really fast. Drop in our subheading, drop in our heading. We don't need to mess with anything because it's a white background, so we'll leave those two components as their default. And then I got to make these little divs, so we'll add 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll add 4 flex divs. That's this guy right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it added 1 and then it added the others inside of it, but that's fine. I was going to delete them anyways because I'm going to create this one and then duplicate it 3 times, because inside this we need an image, and then we need a, I'm going to call it a flex div. Probably could just be a regular div. Why not? I like flex. Everything is flex. And then inside there we're going to have 2, is that, are we calling that a heading? They are. It's an H3 on their site, I guess. We'll call it a heading. And then a text. Okay, and then we will duplicate this 1, 2, 3 times. And let's see if I add the classes. Let's see how that looks. Thing about when you do that is it doesn't usually give stuff like these 4 divs. They'll each have all the same exact class. So if you need to add a unique class to them for any reason, you can do that. So here's my 4 divs and our images. This first image. Ooh, and it's making it big, even though the image itself is small. Why is it doing that? That's weird. All easy fix though, right? We just go like this. Max width 300 pixels. And that will apply to all of them because they all have the same class. So wouldn't it be nice if I could just drag? No, that doesn't work. Alright. It's kind of crazy how fast we can build out sections. Crazy, 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 man. I can actually see web design being fun again, or web development. I don't like designing. Somebody gives me a design and I take it and then I do what I'm doing right now. Looks like this one needs an extra text div. Let's duplicate that. Good thing I made these flex divs. That still doesn't matter. It's all just vertical inside here. I think flex is a little overused probably, if I'm being honest, just because like this. I mean, this doesn't need to be flex inside this div. It's just a block level element on top of another block level element. So but I don't think it hurts anything. Oh, this needs another paragraph as well. Duplicate. Alright, that's it for the content. We got all of our content. Did I do the headings? Yes, I did. Alright, so again, this is the mobile. We're going to leave it alone for mobile, and we're just going to update these little flex divs here, right here on desktop. Easy peasy. I actually didn't know that you could even do some of this stuff in regular CSS, like nesting and variables and whatnot. That's how long it's been since I've built a website like properly. I still thought you had to use Sass for that. until I started using Etch and watching their videos, and I realized that you can do some of this stuff in regular old CSS now, which is awesome. Flex direction row, right? Yeah, wait. Oh yeah, and then oh, that's what, because this flex div and then the flex div they put inside of it, they give it the same class. So I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to add inner to each one of these, because I don't want to make them flex direction row. They need to stay column. Once again, easy fix. I could have fixed this by naming these divs before I hit that BEM class, and I could have named them inner, and I think that would have probably taken care of this issue. And one more, and I think I'm done. I think I just built out this whole page. Oh, I need to add some gap to this. I should probably class. I'm going to say first, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say ampersand first, margin top 20 pixels, and maybe a little more than, yeah. Let's do like 50 pixels. Yeah. Here we go. I need to also add, let's see, are these all flex? I guess that's a good reason to use flex on everything. Gap is amazing. I need to add gap to this flex div, and so this container, and we'll use that class, and we'll say gap 40 pixels there. There we go. And oh, and these need to be blue, and I have a variable for that. And these were given a very nice specific class thanks to our BEM class button that we clicked. So I'm just going to say color var text primary. There we go. Now they're blue, and that should be it. I think I just completed this whole page. We got our heading, our hero section there. I do want to add a little margin above that bad boy, I think. Got this section, yeah. And then quick check on mobile. There's some things I might tweak a little bit on mobile, but for the most part it's ready to go. Like this needs a little more spacing above it. This spacing's all kind of weird. This is actually supposed to be fixed. I don't know why that's happening. There's not supposed to be so much of a gap between those two headings, so I'll need to look into that. But otherwise, I'm calling it. I'm done. You watch me build. Excuse me. You watch me build a whole page in about, I don't know if I can tell, 28 minutes is how long this video is. So, and you got to see a couple things I haven't talked about in my videos before, so hopefully this was a learning experience for you. Thanks for watching. I'm out.